Right, well, welcome back to me weekly yarns. What have we been doing this week? Other than smashing clutches to bits and rendering them totally useless, eh? But if you haven't watched the video, pop back and watch the video. It's one of those I knew that was gonna happen moments. You know what I mean? As soon as you pick the hammer up, you start thinking to yourself, this isn't going to end well. And when you start to look back on things and you get time to calmly assess the situation, you look at it and think, the last tool you needed, and that was the hammer. What we should have done is we did compress it fully. We did get it right down to where all the plates were level, so that it just wasn't going to compress any further. Those pins should have gone in, and then they did. I mean, they all went into, they went through the fingers by hand, they went through the ears or the lugs on the pressure plate, everything, you know, they weren't tight, it was a case they weren't lined up properly. Looking back on it, what I should have done was come in from the opposite side with a punch, used the punch to wangle it and line it up to get the pin in. Those pins should have gone in, other than the fact that they had a spring, the anti-rattle spring tension against them. But it is what it is, and it's broken. However, I'm not going to sling it in the bin, because there's a lot of good parts on there. What I'm going to try and do, by the way, I've got a replacement on order. I got a text last night from the delivery company, and I believe it's coming on Wednesday. So we should be able to start and move forward again on Wednesday. But what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take it to bits. I'm going to put all the bits away, and that broken plate, I've got nothing to lose with that broken plate. I'm going to have a go at welding it back up, just to see what it's like, just because I can, right? I'm not saying I'm going to put it back into a tractor, and I'm not saying I'm going to put it up for sale and sell it discreetly, because I wouldn't put that back in my tractor after it had been welded, because what you don't want is that letting loose under load and having a bad day with it, because it's 200, I think it was 275 quid for a new clutch. It turns 275 quid probably into about 3,000 or 4,000 quid's worth, or even a write-off of your tractor. If it comes through and it smashes through castings and it bends shafts, and, or worse still, they have an accident and somebody gets hurt. So that's never ever going to go back in a tractor. We'll just play with it for a while, and we'll see where we'll go. Yeah, during my conversations with Colin, we'll mention about it. We might be able to pick up a new pressure, that actual pressure plate, not the entire pressure plate, but that actual friction plate for the main 11-inch drive plate. And it might get rebuilt with a different plate. But as I say, the bits will just get put away safely, out the way, because it'll go back up to the farm, into the shed, out the way, so it's out of my hair here. It's been lying about long enough. And then we'll move forward with that as and when. But we'll get a new one for this, and we'll move forward with this a bit more. So, what else are we getting done this week? Right, well, as you can see, or not, maybe, my exhaust's in the way, isn't it? But the nozzle for the 4th injector turned up from Mayhill. Popped it on, set it up, checked it, popped it in the engine, job's a gun. As easy as that. The other one is still here. I'm still waiting for AgriLine to come back to us to tell us what they want me to do with that injector nozzle. I'm going to give them till about Wednesday, and I'm going to give them a ring. What I need to do as well is I need to have a look online, because I did get a refund, because I originally ordered 4 from them, because they were showing 5 as stock. So I ordered the 4. 2 turned up, 2 on back order. When I rang them, the back order was going to be at least middle to back October. and then I cancelled that, and they did send me a refund for the 2 outstanding nozzles. So the damaged one I need the refund for the damaged one, but I need to know what they want me to do with it, whether they want me to send it back to them or whatever they want us to do with them. But they'll give us a heads up in a short while. We'll speak to them on Wednesday and we'll find out. What else are we getting done? Right, well, I'll give you a walk around in a minute, but the back axle, getting all the hydraulic pipes put back in this week. I was going to film that, and I thought I'd have a dummy run, because these things never work out as easy as you think they're going to work out. So I thought I'd have a dummy run, putting the pipework in, and then if it wasn't a mammoth task, we'll whip it all out again, put the cameras in, put it back together. It turned into an absolute bloody nightmare trying to get the pipework in. But it's in there now. It's all in place. This pipe here, which is the oil spray for the gearbox, and it gives an oil spray out the back into the PTO area. I had to straighten that because someone had bent both pipes when they ran over my axle with a tractor. Johnny Clark, he'll remain nameless by the way, and no one will know that it was you that reversed your trailer over the top of me axle while it was behind the trailer. Johnny Clark. So we're getting that put in. I said we'll give you a walk around. Ordered all new screws for the keep plates that goes underneath the camel humps and on the outputs to the oil pipes. They are 1/4 UNC by 5/8 long. If you remember, one of the camel's humps had to be drilled out. Two off the hydraulic pump the heads were chewed up on them. The threads were okay, but the heads were chewed up, and consequently what I've done is I've bought from GWR Fastens. I've got no affiliation with these people at all. I don't have any sponsorship for the channel. So if anybody out there would like to contact me and talk about sponsorship, we'll have a conversation. No bother. But anyway, in the meantime, so I bought new 1/4 UNC screws, but I had to buy socket heads instead of as opposed to posi drive type heads, cross heads. You kind of get cross heads anywhere. That's sensible money. We have got in Cramlington a local fastener distribution people, and I always, like Lance McGaskill, I always want to buy British. I always want to deal with British and local businesses, because I think it's more important that you do. It's more important that you keep all these businesses going, because every little bit of business is a help to them, especially at the minute. However, you go through to this one at Cramlington, and unless you're buying a box of 100, they don't want to know you. They really don't want to know you. I go online, I've got it on eBay, where, as I say, GWR, I use the same companies all the time. If I can get what I want off them, I try to stick to the same businesses and build up a business relationship with them, as opposed to just go on eBay and click the first ones that I see or the cheapest ones that I can see. Don't mind paying a bit more if they're good, British made, British sold products. But I'm not into doing things just for the cheapness. Sometimes you've got to. Sometimes you've got to bite the bullet and buy Chinese, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing else out there. Because their business market is destroying the world's engineering, manufacturing and production bases. And I don't think the world has realised yet that once your manufacturing or production bases have gone, you're going to have to buy Chinese at whatever price they want to charge you. And believe me, it'll not be the prices you're paying the day for it either. It'll be sky high prices. Anyway, so pipework's back in, camel's humps are on. I haven't put, you'll see when I come around, I haven't put any O-rings on these just in case they need to come back out. got my brake activators in, bits and pieces. Now this, show you this little pipe. Okay, and we'll go around this when we get to the back end, because you'll not be able to see it from there. This little pipe, the last piece of the hydraulic pipe, it goes, there's a pipe comes from the valve chest over here to the camel's humps into the front, across the front, sprays oil out, forward into the gearbox, backwards into the PTO, and then continues across to the lift cylinder. This piece of pipe fits in, and I'll try and get the camera in and show you where it fits in. Fits in inside, and it feeds oil from this supply line into the back of the lift piston. So you've got your lift cylinder, you've got the piston inside, which is fed by high pressure oil in front of the piston to move your piston. This feeds oil in behind it through a hole in the side of the casting over here. I don't think we're going to be able to get into there, but and it bleeds back through a hole on the opposite side, which is, if you remember the gasket I made, it obviously had the four big bolt holes in, but it had 2 little holes in as well, and that's what this is for. The 2 little holes were, one was a supply and the other one is a return. So this just blows oil into the back of the cylinder to keep the back of the piston, the push rod, and the arm, the fulcrum arm on the lift, on the rocker shaft, all lubricated. And it just leaks back through this other hole back into the axle. That's got to go in, because if you don't put that in, or you don't put it in, you think it's there for dribbling oil onto the drive shafts or whatever, your rock shaft's going to suffer very quickly from corrosion on the outside of it. Right? And that's what this is for, because if you read in the book, and when I first read it in the manual, and it says when you take the cover off, the external cover off the rock shaft, you will lose about a quart of oil. And I'm thinking to myself in my head, I'm thinking, why is there oil on the wrong side of the lift piston? The oil should be in front of the lift piston, not behind the lift piston. And that's what it is. This supplies it purely for lubrication. So that's what that is. So, what else have we been doing this week? So, clutch pedal. The little shaft on which this operates on. The shaft is worn, but not as much as the clutch pedal, luckily. So, John, who up in Red Row, John, agricultural engineer, got some machines and a lovely container in his back garden. He's the fella that fixed my trunnion pin for us. The trunnion pin was absolutely solid. I think we had 60-ton hydraulic puller on it. Nah, wouldn't come out. John took it away. He fettled that up for us, made me a new pin, made a new securing holes and bolts and everything for it, popped it back in. So, rang John, because as you see, I haven't got any machines. I would love to have the machines, but I haven't got the space to put them. So I rang John, mentioned about the hole in here. One side was round, one side was oval. When you put that on the tractor, and I think we'll have to have a look at some videos. I think I've got some video of this, and it's moving about that much. That's how bad it was. So I popped it up to John. He's bored it out, put 2 oil light bushes in. You touch my paintwork up. So he needs to, we've got 2 oil light bushes in, 3/4 internal diameter, fits on there a treat now. Because what we were getting, we were with previously, if you remember when we hit the clutch pedal, we could get the main disc to disengage, but not the PTO disc. And I think it was just an accumulative effect, or an accumulative combination of wear and errors between all of the components. So it was wear in here, it was lack of adjustment on the piece that goes in here that was on a cam, basically, that you rotate to get your adjustment. It was total wear within the clutch itself. So hopefully Wednesday, Thursday, I think it's going to rain Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, isn't it? But and I know this might sound daft, but we can't get anything done in here when it's raining, because there's so much things in here that need to go outside so I can get in to do work. And if it's raining, we'll kind of get them outside. And Deb doesn't like having the lawnmower in the sitting room. I don't know why. I can't see nothing wrong with that. But so we have our clutch put in, we'll get everything put back together, and we'll look at what we can do in terms of get the shafts and the PTO brake. No, I keep calling it a PTO brake. We'll get everything put back together. Hopefully we will get the clutch stop, brake stop put on, and we will then look at setting everything up in this end. Still haven't gotten it fired up yet. Need a tank. I'm gonna pop through to Croslands sometime this week and see if they've got a couple of little tank connectors that we can put into a plastic bottle, where we can couple onto here with a plastic bottle on with a bit of diesel in, get this all filled up with diesel and checked. But anyway, right, not this one but another one. Down on the side, again we'll show you when we have a walk around. Down on the side we're putting back in the diff lock actuator and the pedal. Now the little spigot that the pedal sits on was also very badly worn. The pedal had a bush already in the middle of it. So again, that went up to John's. We've knocked the bush out of the middle, we've made a new bush, we've skimmed the peg on the back, so it's now concentric. I think we took 0.6 of a mil off it, and then we made a new bush to fit in the pedal. We've got that back on this week. So even though we've had a smashing time, we're getting a lot of work done. We're getting there, you know what I mean? It would have been nice, it would have been really nice to have gotten that clutch reassembled and put back in. But I guess I'll never know whether that lug had been damaged previously and was just waiting to pop. Me hitting it with a hammer, which it probably was. But anyway, it is what it is, isn't it? So hopefully by Wednesday, with a new clutch here, we should be able to get some jobs done. Right, let's have a quick walk around and we'll see what we've been getting done, eh? Right, so back here, these are just the long bolts out of the lift cylinder, and I've got them in the wrong way because obviously my parts washer's there, and to shift all that when I can just pop them in the wrong way from here, nut on that end, just a nip, they're just nipped lightly. This is 22mm copper pipe that I've cut just as spacers, because obviously the cap's missing off the cylinder. So cut some 22mm. We've got new ball. I thought I had some, but when I opened my drawer I didn't. Behind this bleed nipple should be a 1/4 steel ball. No, a 5/16. That was the problem. It's a 5/16 steel ball goes behind here to act as a stop between the cylinder and the bleed nipple. So I've ordered them. I'm waiting for them to come. As you see, we've got hydraulic pipes back in place with the new cap heads. We've got the spray bar for the gearbox in place. All the pipe work was washed and pulled through. I'll show you my little pull through that I made in order to get the stuff into the pipe work. Right, quick shot of me pull through. What I get is this bathroom chains, the brass one. It's got a bit of weight about it. You get a meter of that. You tie to the end of it. I've cut this loose because I was busy tidying up. You tie to the end of it your piece of string, you pull through. Good strong, you need good strong nylon cord and a little bit of cloth on the end of it. And this, I do this in my diesel bath, so this is covered in diesel. You pull it through the pipes, and I normally put this in the middle of a piece of string so you can pull it both ways unless the pipe dictates otherwise. There was a pipe which is the main supply pipe from the pump up to the camel's humps, and it comes through the fitting and turns immediately 90 degrees where you could feed that in, but you couldn't pull it back and forward, so it only was going to go through one way. And I tell you what, that pipe was absolutely minging inside. So every pipe got that put through it. The two drain holes for the flown return oil to the back of the lift piston, we put a wire brush through that we used, or was part of a set for cleaning paint guns. It just fitted through the hole nicely, so we cleaned all that out. Everything got a good clean out, because believe me, like, the pipe work was just absolutely rancid. So, and you don't want all that dirt going straight back through your nice clean system when you've spent hours and pounds making sure everything was clean, tidy and replaced, wasn't it? So that's my pull through system. None of the pipe work's tight yet, but it's in here. You can see we've got the activator for the diff lock in there. Now I might have to reshape, see the pipe work on top of it there, I might have to reshape that pipe work because it's actually interfering with the top of the diff lock there of the actuator. So let's have a look on this side. That's the hole that oil feed pipe fits into. So it feeds into the right, if you look from the back of the tractor, feeds into the right hand side of the cap of the cylinder. The right hand side of the cap fills up the void in the back of the cap and leaks off through the left hand side back into here. So we've got our camel's humps on. We've got our brake mechanisms back on. And we've got our diff lock pedal and actuator back on. This was the little pin here. This was badly worn. We took 0.6 of a millimetre off it and we made a bush to fit into here. So now all we need to do now is work out why that is contacting that pipe, because that actuator and these pipes came out of this axle. This is the spare axle. Right, we're through the week. I got asked by, I think it's Joanne from Holland, Joran, Joran from Holland, about where I get my parts from for the tractor. Well, I source my parts from lots of different places, depend upon what I'm after and whether I have to buy new or whether I can buy second hand and fix things, not break them like the clutch, but fix things and put them in. Now, I don't have an affiliation with any particular business. What I will say to you is, though, shop around, because you can buy exactly the same items from different suppliers and the prices vary wildly. For instance, an injector nozzle. One injector nozzle from Mayhill Tractors, off the top of my head, $15.95 plus VAT plus postage. Right? I think it ends up something like 23 quid through my front door for one. However, there's another supplier charging £33 a nozzle for the same thing. Exactly the same thing. It's not a better quality, it's not a different manufacturer, it's the same thing. Barclay Williams, I've used Barclay Williams for the clutch. Again, I didn't realise this until through the week, that Barclay Williams do a lot of spare parts for Davy Browns. I thought they were purely and simply hydraulics people. And I was talking to John while we were doing the clutch pedal, and I was talking to him about the valve chest. And that's how we got onto Barclay Williams. And John said, no, he says, they're tractor breakers. So he says, give them a ring. He says, they might be able to help you with all your parts, because they're tractor breakers and refurbishers. So I rang them about the clutch, and again was pleasantly surprised. I think it was 275 quid for the clutch. I have this week, while I was searching for a one, seen them in America for as much as $900. Right, so shop around. As I say, I don't have any affiliation with any of these businesses whatsoever, and all I can say to you is shop around, do 2 or 3 before you settle on buying something, because I have done this in the past. You go on the internet, you find what you're looking for, you buy it, and the next time you open your search page up, there's another one 30, 40, 50 quid cheaper. Yeah, so do your homework first. As I say, so there's like AgriLine, they're good suppliers. Davy Brown Parts Limited, they have quite a few bits in, but I find the fact that you have to ring them, you cannot order offline, and again, I mean, a lot of that is probably because you ring up, you can talk to Peter or Christine or Catherine. You talk to Peter or Catherine, explain what tractor you've got, and they can 9 times out of 10 get the parts correct for you. I've had 2 instances with Davy Browns where the right bag is turned up with the right part number on with the wrong parts inside. Now, that is not Peter or Catherine's fault. It hasn't been done deliberately. It's just, that's what happens. That's sod's law, as we would say in Northumberland. That's sod's law. It happens. And both times they've been great and very quick at getting things corrected, getting things turned around, and refunding me postage for sending the parts back to them. So, well done, Davy Brown Parts Limited. As I say, and again, a lot of it depends on where you are in the world, doesn't it? You know, Duran, I think you're in Holland, because your tag is Duran_NL in capitals. So I'm assuming that you're in Holland, which is not that far away. It's not bad. You can get stuff whipped across the North Sea to you. But I mean, if you're in America, there's a lot of things that just doesn't make sense to post either way. I've seen things on websites in America that I could have done with for the tractor, and it was 3 and 4 times the value of the goods to have them shipped. And again, that's not their fault. That's just what things cost. That's the way life is. So, really, it's just a case of looking around, shopping around, asking questions, as you say, like people like me, like others who are fixing tractors. Ask around to see where they get their parts from, and like John recommended Barclay Williams, and he said, no, you know, that they're normally very good, they're good with their prices, they're good with their delivery times, and they help you out. So that's what we need, isn't it? Right, well, that's it for this weekly yarn then, isn't it? We've had a smashing time this week, but not to worry, things will get put right as we go forward. Hopefully parts will arrive. We will get things sorted out. We will get the clutch put in this week, get our settings done, check our release points to see what comes loose at where. So, now then, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up. Please like and subscribe. It costs you nothing to subscribe. You just get notified by a little icon up on the top of your YouTube page, the little bell gets a red disc and a number beside it for your notifications. That's all. As I say, it doesn't cost you a penny. Helps us out tremendously because it helps to grow the channel. I think we're up to 447, 448 subscribers at the minute, and growing nice and steadily. Keep the comments coming. Love the comments. Shane, long time since I heard from you, but I do like your sense of humour. But right, well, as I say, that's it for this week. Thanks for visiting. Hope you've enjoyed it. Remember, don't overthink it. It's just nuts and bolts. Stay safe, everybody. See you the next time. Bye now.